Hello and welcome to the kitchen. Today I'm making a ginger sponge cake, very similar to McVitie's Jamaican ginger that you would purchase in the shops. The first thing I've done is preheat my oven to 200 degrees centigrade, which is, let me check, 390 Fahrenheit. When we put the sponge cake mix into the oven, I'll turn my temperature down to 180 centigrade, which is 355 Fahrenheit. I've greased and lined a baking tin that I'm going to put my sponge mixture into. I've got a rectangular shaped tin here. I'm 7 inches by 10 inches, but you can use a square tin or a round tin. Whatever shape cake you like is absolutely fine. This is going to make a runny batter that makes this wonderful sponge cake. So when you're lining your tin, it needs to be one full sheet of greaseproof paper pushed into the edges and up the sides to make sure we don't get any leakage out of the bottom of make sure we don't get any leakage out of the bottom of our tin. Greasy hands now. I really like this recipe. I've been using it for years because I find it so simple to make. We'll split our ingredients into 3 components. We've got our dry mixtures, our wet mixtures, and a melted bubbling mixture that goes in this, that will melt in the microwave, she says, stuttering and stammering. I'm going to mix this with my electric food mixer. You could do it by hand. It might take a bit of beating, depends how much you're used to bashing things around. You definitely need to be doing it with a whisk. I've got 6 ounces of plain flour already measured out into my mixing bowl. And I'm going to add to that a teaspoon of bicarbonate of soda. I will of course put the recipe in the description below. Tap tap. Ooh, bicarb everywhere, dusty dust. Right, we're done with that one. Let's put it out of the way. Don't want that either. And then as we're making a ginger cake, we're going to need ground ginger. Help if I had the ginger in my hand and not the cinnamon, which we're going to need in a minute. I have a tablespoon of ground ginger, and we're also going to add a tablespoon of ground cinnamon. Into our powdered mixes. I'm going to pop that back onto my mixer stand because that's all of our dry ingredients. To that we're going to need to add a 1/4 pint of milk, 5 fluid ounces. I'm not putting it in my mixing bowl yet. I'm preparing that in my milk measuring container. I'm going to crack my egg into it. So I have my dry ingredients sitting ready in the mixing bowl, and in my milk measure I have 1/4 pint of milk and 1 egg. That goes in the compost. And next comes the exciting bit. I've got a microwavable jug because I'm going to melt treacle, butter and sugar together using my microwave. Now you can do that in a saucepan, stirring with a spoon. Keep an eye on it because you don't want to turn it into toffee. I've got 4 ounces of black treacle, to which I'm going to add 4 ounces of margarine, just going in one big lump, and 4 ounces of dark brown sugar. All into your melting container, whether that's a saucepan over the stove, or in my case, a glass jug I'm going to pop in the microwave. So I'm going to go microwave this now. See you in a couple of minutes. Shouldn't take long, we just need to melt it. Here we are back with microwaved, hot, very hot. Do be careful, it's like a molten toffee, this mixture now. We want to microwave it in small bursts, a bit like when you're melting chocolate. Just enough that so everything's liquid and runny, and just as it starts to bubble, we need to get it out. You can stop between your different blasts and give it a bit of a stir. So microwave, stir it, microwave, stir it, and just as the mixture starts to bubble, it's time to, that's it, it's ready. So now we have our 3 sets of ingredients: our hot bubbly syrup, our milk and egg, and our dry powders of flour and spices. I'll set the camera up so you can see what's going on inside the mixing bowl, because you don't need to see me, you want to see the cake. There we go, all set up, so hopefully this will work and you'll be able to see. So the first thing I'm going to add to our dry powdered mixture is our milk and egg. We just pour that in, splop, in it goes, and give it a slow mix to start with, because we don't want to puff all that flour all over the kitchen. Now that's all mixed, we're going to add our hot liquid syrup. Just giving this another quick stir. Scrape my spatula on the side of the jug. I'm going to switch my mixer on as I slowly pour in the syrups. So again, mixer on slowly, and here we go. Actually, I'm going to move the whole lot over there, and you can see the jug pouring in. Perfect. I'm just going to scrape the last little bit of syrup out of my jug. And when I next turn the mixer on, I'm going to keep my spatula in, scraping the last pieces off the side of my bowl. That's it, we're ready to pour into our baking pan. I've swapped us around, we've got the baking sheet in front of us. Pan, it's got deep sides, it's not a flat sheet. And it's a very liquid, runny batter, like making pancakes or Yorkshire puddings. And I'm going to pour that into our pan. Scraping all that lovely goodness off the sides. Don't want to waste any. In it all goes. Now I'm going to turn our oven that's been preheated, turn the oven down to 180 centigrade. Check my conversion sheet for you all. 180 centigrade, 355 Fahrenheit, and put our cake in. Hello and welcome back again. 35 minutes, our sponge has been in the oven and I've got some stuck on my towel. There we go. Just as it's starting to come away from the edges of the tin, or you can poke it with a skewer if that's what you're used to, come out clean, your sponge is ready. You can't see the sponge, there's our sponge. I've got a cooling rack. I'm just going to leave it sitting in the tin for maybe a minute. We don't want it to carry on cooking with the tin heat. But I don't want it to be too soft, it's just come out of the oven that it's all going to fall apart on me. Ow, this is still hot. So that was 35 minutes in our 180 centigrade oven. Ooh, can't get hold of it. Wouldn't think I've done this, I don't know how many millions of times. And flip it over onto the cooling rack. Move that one out of the way. Jumbo, jumbo. Tin comes off nice and easy. And just carefully and slowly peel away our greaseproof paper. And hopefully, if we've greased it well, oh, it's hot and steamy, it won't stick. Oh no, it's sticking. There we go. Oh, it's not coming off my paper very well. There we go. Losing crumbs everywhere. Yum. You got crumbs all falling off the edge. Never works perfect for camera. I'm going to put a second cooling rack on what is actually the bottom of the cake and flip us over. And it didn't come out very well. I have crumbs falling everywhere. But this is a gorgeous, piping hot ginger sponge. It's really nice, cut into chunks and served with a custard as a dessert, as a pudding. It keeps really well. It'll be a good week later. It's probably even better than fresh made now. The top starts to get slightly sticky and gooey and it's gorgeous. Anyway, that's my Jamaica ginger cake. All crumbling around the edges. Oh, I have to make another one for the camera. This is the reality of life. It tastes delicious even when it's crumbling. Have fun and I'll see you next time.